Former Health Secretary Matt Hancock is in the news again. And no, it doesn't involve kangaroo penis or cringe fake tears on breakfast television. This time it's about Tory donors and the direct access they had to him during the pandemic. The government has released WhatsApp messages and emails showing that donors were able to get in touch with Hancock directly in order to promote companies that they were involved with that were offering COVID services. Mustafa Mohammed has donated more than £230,000 to the Tories. His company, Genix, which operates dental clinics, has given a further £156,000. In June 2020, Mohammed emailed Hancock offering to partner Genix with another company, Ecolog, to provide rapid testing. Hancock replied, quote, "Very interesting," before his office referred Mohammed to the government's VIP lane. That was the fast route to contracts for personal contacts of ministers. Within a week, Mohammed had a meeting with the Department of Health and Social Care and wrote this to Hancock afterwards. "My dear friend, hope you are well. I had the call today with Redacted and Redacted team today, which went well. Thank you ever so much for your kind help. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you soon." To which Hancock replied, "Excellent." So, what happened next? The Guardian reports this. A legal letter of intent was signed by the Department of Health and Social Care on the 4th of September 2020, which guaranteed a multi-million-pound payment to Ecolog even if a full contract was not issued. The following year, the DHSC decided it did not want to proceed and gave Ecolog £38 million in settlement for, quote, mobilisation costs, including a, quote, profit component. The DHSC confirmed that no services were provided by the company. £38 million for doing absolutely nothing. That wasn't the only time that Mohammed got in touch with Hancock. The day that the Ecolog contract was signed, he promoted another testing company, Oxed, writing this. "My dear friend, hope you're well. Absolutely amazing news and support for the 20-minute COVID test. As you'll be aware, my dear friend, I'm involved with Oxed and I have been liaising with Redacted and Redacted team who've been extremely helpful. We're now awaiting the results from Condor, which should be out any time. Could you please let me know if there's anyone else we should be contacting to speed up the process, my dear friend? Thank you for all your help." To which Hancock replied, "Thanks, Mustafa. I'll take a look at the email." The company was also promoted to ministers by a second donor, Mohammed Amersi, but no contract was awarded. We should be absolutely clear that both donors say they made no financial gain from their ministerial contracts. And there is no suggestion that anyone acted unlawfully. In response to the disclosures, Mustafa Mohammed said this. "Many highly experienced individuals were working incredibly hard, doing everything they could to try and save lives. Any insinuation that anything improper or morally wrong was occurring is completely unfounded." Many highly experienced individuals were working incredibly hard. That's schmoozing. Mohammed Amersi told The Guardian that all approaches to ministers were, quote, at all times on a philanthropic basis. And Matt Hancock's spokesperson told The Guardian this. "Government COVID contracts were decided, priced and signed off by the civil service who are independent of ministers. To suggest any wrongdoing is offensive and false." Sean, it's Matt Hancock's WhatsApps keep getting into the public domain. What do you make of that? Does that sound above board to you?
There is a difference between, and whether or not you can technically escape some kind of accountability on the basis on which approaches are made. But I think to any one of us that does not exist in this world of what we have been talking about throughout the programme, this revolving door that you mentioned earlier between Westminster politics and, these extremely wealthy, powerful individuals who make up the governance of huge companies, their overtures to ministers, my dear friend, the very fact that it just shows a level of chumminess and access that the, average person in a democracy does not get to ministers. There is a certain level of soft influence that, to me, it may be on a technical basis in certain circumstances, there aren't necessarily legal consequences to be applied to it. And I can't say whether that's the case here, but it doesn't seem above board to me in a kind of moral, ethical sense for what I want out of a democracy.
Of course, Matt Hancock isn't the only Tory in the public eye for being chummy with party donors. In fact, now an MP has been forced to apologise for failing to declare her links with a shadowy donor group that she hosted for dinner in the House of Commons. Amanda Soloway was a whip at the time that the dinner happened and in charge of enforcing party discipline. It makes the omission even more scandalous. Politico reports this. Energy Minister Amanda Soloway sponsored the event in June last year on behalf of Business For, a, quote, unincorporated association with ties to a city insurance firm. Business For had given £15,000 to her local Conservative grouping just 6 months earlier. House of Commons rules state that the MPs using taxpayer-funded facilities are expected to declare any existing financial links with the groups they are hosting and flag such events in advance with the Parliament's standards watchdog. But while Soloway included the donation on the register of MPs' interest, parliamentary records show that she did not then highlight the connection when agreeing to host the dinner for Business For on the Westminster estate. Soloway's local party received a further £20,000 from Business For in January. So what is Business For? The answer is nobody knows. Politico goes on to report this. Business For has donated over £180,000 to the Conservative Party since 2016, according to the UK Electoral Commission. But its status as an unincorporated association means it is not required to detail the source of its funds or publish its accounts. Data from the Electoral Commission, which lists basic information about unincorporated associations which have given more than £25,000 in a single year, shows insurance firm Kerry London Limited serves as the registered address for Business For. Kerry London has previously donated to the Conservatives and is also listed in the House of Commons records as a sponsor of the Business For dinner. Kerry London did not respond to questions about its relationship with Business For by the time of publication. Let's move from declarations, or the lack of them, to delusions. Jeremy Hunt gave a speech to Tory donors last night. I wonder if Business For was among them. It all took place in the Swiss Dorchester Hotel in central London, where Hunt tried to keep his party's supporters upbeat. The Mirror reports this. Jeremy Hunt yesterday insisted, "Everything is going well," in a speech to Tory members and donors. Mr. Hunt told the audience that Britain is in a, quote, incredibly powerful position at the moment. He told them to block out all the, quote, negativity. Jeremy Hunt is making like a TikTok shaman. Yes, everything is going so well. Like the cost of living crisis, soaring inflation, rising interest rates, almost zero growth. I could go on. Meanwhile, an attendee said this. Jeremy Hunt said the polls are swinging in the Tories' direction. He counterpointed the negativity. It is worth challenging the negativity. It's worth people looking deeper and realizing not everything is quite what it seems. Those toxic polls. You've got to get rid of those toxic polls in your life. Everything is not quite what it seems. Actually, I could give you 1,006 things that are exactly as they seem. Each of those seats the Tories lost in the local elections. Let's hope Jeremy Hunt can block out that negativity.